Alright, welcome to my day 92 progression guide. So for today, we did not get a level increase. Most likely we're not going to get one until next week. But starting out, you want to go to your artificial island, and then you want to go back to build, and then you want to hit claim because you can only hold these resources for 24 hours. On top of that, I want to give you a warning to go ahead and clear your enemies, so that way you don't wait till the very last day, like I did last week. And you might want to go ahead and check the exchange store. If you're rolling for Saki tonight, you might want to pick up these monthly items. Next, you want to do Mia's Kitchen, and you want to do your 4 bounties for the day. I'm going to go with the Sparrow. Next, we got Vitality, starting with joint operations. So for today, we got access to Shoulders, Helm, a Coco, and a Shiro Matrix. So this is actually a pretty good dungeon. On top of that, we got access to in-game. So we got a Physical or Volt team. This is also a pretty good dungeon to run, which brings us to Interstellar Exploration. So you want to make sure you check Vera, and you also want to check a Sparrow, so that way you can see all of your Stargates. And you want to see if you have any level 3 Stargates, and a good way to tell is if you look at this weapon battery category, if you have a 3, it's a level 3 Stargate, and if you have a 2, it's a level 2 Stargate. But if you don't have any level 3s or level 2s, you could always do Dimensional Trials, and if you need money, you could always do Space-Time Domains. But again, it might be good to go ahead and get some Omnium Beacons, so that way you can push towards level 80. Then we have our optionals, and that's giving gifts to your 1.0 characters, and how you do that is by going to the black market, Venus Island, and doing the claw machine, and knocking out your 2 trainings for the day. But what it's not optional is you want to do your 6 fun zones, and you want to do your 6 Greyspace fishers. And if you need help on how to do that, I have a guide on my channel. Then we have the supply run. If you haven't been logging in every day, you want to make sure you do that at least 7 days, so that way you can get all the rewards, which brings us to the ultimate weapon. Now we only have 5 days left to complete this, so you want to make sure that you go ahead and complete all this. So make sure you do your intel gathering, and you can do uprooting remnants and use the nemesis trick and infiltration, or just use a bow and arrow. But one thing I want to go ahead and do was point out a Reddit post that I saw where it shows you all the locations for the intel gathering event. So if you've been having trouble getting your pictures done, you can go ahead and take a look at this, and you can quickly knock it out. So I'll go ahead and post a link down to this in the description. And of course, we want to give credit to Noiselore. But if you enjoyed these daily guides, I would greatly appreciate a like, so that way they can spread more on YouTube. But tonight we should be getting Saki Fuwa. I believe she's coming around 11 p.m. I'm going to be rolling for her. I'm going to be trying to go for that A6, and I'm going to possibly get her matricy set. I'm going to try to go for a 2-piece 3-star. So wish me a lot of luck, because that can end up costing quite a bit of money, but hopefully I can keep up my lucky streak and we'll see what happens. But I'll be sure to post how that goes tomorrow, and good luck on all of your rolls. Then we got our weekly tab. You want to make sure you do enough things down here so that we can get everything up top, which brings us to our challenges. Now if you're trying to do something like the Bygone Phantasm or Frontier Clash, you might want to save your Mia's Kitchen, so that way you can power yourself up. So starting with the Bygone Phantasm. So again, I recommend that you look at the weapon bonus. If you have a good weapon bonus and your CS is high enough, you want to go ahead and do this sneak to next level, and that's going to allow you to jump up 11 levels as long as you can beat that floor. But then after that, you want to go ahead and do the sequential Phantasm, because this is going to really determine what your rank is. So you want to try to get a high score here. Frontier Clash. Now you can either save your attempt for the weekend, or you can go ahead and try to knock it out and power yourself up. Void Risk. We got another attempt today, so you can go ahead and do that and try to get a matricy. And if this is the first time boss for you, you definitely want to do it. Wormhole. We got 4 days left to go ahead and complete this, so if you can, go ahead and do that, so that way you can get that energy crystal dust. Raids. Actually need to make a correction from yesterday. I mentioned that if you are saving your raid attempts, just in case we get a level increase, I mentioned that you wanted to do the second heroic one and do battle test area. But Yacindy actually pointed out to me that really it's probably better just to go for the heroic first level one and the second level one. The reason being is because you get crystal fragments for completing those, which are much harder to get. So you kind of want to make sure you get your crystal fragments for the week over trying to get crystal dust. Apex League. If you're trying to reach Grand Marshal, you might want to put a couple hours in each day. Then we got our daily buys. So you want to go to shop, then buy your 2 vitality solutions. Now this is only if you can afford it, which brings us to the Commissary, starting with the crystal dust store. So you want to make sure you buy your advancement modules, your booster modules, and your Vera special gift. And if you can, try to get your potent omnium crystal. But if you're a free-to-play / low to spend player, could consider passing, but I would still try to get up to at least an 8.3 suppressor. Space-Time store. Now here's my recommendation. From what I've been seeing, I think you want to try to go ahead and just use your golden crystal fragments to get combat in. That's roughly about it. But your purple crystal fragments, I would go ahead and try to save those, because you might be needing those once we reach 2.1. Crew store. Now, the only thing I recommend is that you buy relic shards, and the relics that I recommend are either Space-Time Rift, unless you have a level 3, or Omnium Shield. And how you get crew points is by doing your daily donations and knocking out your 4 missions for the week. Support store. You want to make sure you buy your 3 joint supply chips, and if you can, try to get the proof of purchase and the gold nucleus. And if you need help on how to get return support points, I got a guide on my channel. Point store. Now the only thing I recommend is that you get a Sparrow special gifts, so that way you don't have to do trainings, black market, or Cetus Island again. But besides that, I just recommend that you explore Vera. Especially with Saki coming out, getting a few extra resources could always help. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If so, look forward to my Saki rows, but other than that, talk to you guys later.